Welcome everybody and good morning. Welcome to this March Member Forum and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm so glad that all of you have been able to join us today. My name is Christy Park. I'm the director of the Texas Digital Library, and you'll be hearing from me today as well as from Courtney Muma, our deputy director, Leah DeForest, our communications manager, and a couple of our members who will share some announcements and information in today's forum. So I'd also like to thank our conference planner, Alex Suarez, for managing our slide deck today. Next slide, please. All right, so we're trying something new today. We are using Zoom's new live transcription feature, and we're going to have a short poll for you at the end of today's forum about it. So if you select the closed captioning and have that captioning running in your browser window during today's forum, we want to hear from you what you think about it and how it's working for you. A couple of other items for housekeeping. Please keep your microphones muted throughout the forum today as others are speaking, and we'll have time for Q&A at the end of the session. We hope you'll also use the chat box to say hello, as many of you have been doing, and let others know you're here or make comments throughout. We'll also use it for Q&A at the end. And finally, this member forum is being recorded, and we will publish slides and recordings on our website and on YouTube after we've had a chance to have them captioned. So moving right along, we'll follow the usual agenda today. We have a lot to cover since we skipped last month because of the Texas freeze. And I hope that all of you have thawed out from that a little bit, and your homes and families have mostly recovered from that disaster. I know we at TDL are still making up for that lost week in some ways, and I want to thank you and all of you for your patience with our moving meetings, rescheduling things, and just extending each other grace as a result of that disruption. Next slide, please. Okay, and the next slide, we will start by thanking everybody who read and commented on TDL's Anti-Racism Action Plan draft, which we distributed for comment last month. That commenting period ended on March 5th, and we have now published the initial version of this plan in the TDL repository, and Leah is going to paste a link to that item in the repository in chat. We've worked on this draft since last summer after the murder of George Floyd and amid the renewed national sense of urgency around the need to dismantle anti-Black and other forms of racism. This document is an attempt to articulate and commit to a concrete set of actions that we can take as an organization in collaboration with our home organization, UT Austin, with our members, both here in Texas and in Arizona, and our partners around the world. So we've said this before, that this is a first attempt at this, and we intend to revisit and update this plan yearly at minimum as we strive to address racism directly and with greater urgency within our organization and the communities that we participate in. The mass shooting in Georgia yesterday, which may have been motivated by racism towards Asian Americans, and just the increase in hate crimes against Asian Americans over the past year are really fresh and alarming reminders of the urgency and importance of this work. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to review and provide your comments. And I want to thank Courtney for her help in drafting this, and our executive committee and boards for their thoughtful comments on earlier drafts of it. We've published this first version. We will have it on the website as well. But we welcome your comments and thoughts on these issues at any time. the comment period is never over for this kind of work. So please let us know your thoughts and how you want to help us as we work to enact these commitments over the next few months. Last week, TDL and our partners at the Digital Higher Education Consortium of Texas and the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board concluded our inaugural and very successful Open Texas conference, which was hosted by the University of Houston downtown, the Houston Community College, and the Houston Area OER Consortium. This was a conference focused on open educational resources and open pedagogy. We had over 1,100 registrants for this conference, and the sessions were very well attended. There were so many great presentations, many of them by our members and our OER ambassadors. And so I want to thank everybody for their attendance and participation and representation of TDL at that event. I hope everybody who attended had a chance to see our just amazing keynote speaker, Dr. Darion Pollard from Montgomery College in Maryland, which was one of the big highlights for me. And the final session, which was a panel of students from the Houston area speaking about their experiences with textbooks, open textbooks, and just generally getting an education in the current environment. We're working on the conference proceedings right now. They'll be published in the TDL repository, and the recordings will be published on our on an Open Texas YouTube channel. So we'll send a message out to the Texas Higher Education OER Google group that we manage when everything is published. So if you aren't and you want to know when those materials and recordings are available, please subscribe to that group. Leah's gonna post a link to it in chat, and we hope you'll join up there. I also hope you saw our announcement from a couple of weeks ago about our keynote speaker for the 2021 Texas Conference on Digital Libraries. We are going to have a wonderful keynote at this conference as well. Dr. Suzanne Schottel is the chief of the Hispanic division at the Library of Congress. And in that role, she formulates the vision, establishes the mission and goals, and supports the staff who apply language, metadata, and coordinated subject expertise to building collections and fostering learning with resources from and about the Caribbean, Latin America, Spain, Portugal, and heritage populations outside of those regions. She came highly recommended by some of our conference committee members who are really inspired by her motivation towards inclusion and research collaboration with students, and by her ability to talk about digital libraries and public interactions. So I'm really excited to introduce Dr. Schottel to our fabulous library and archives community here in Texas and in the region. And Leah's going to paste a link into chat with more information about her. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Courtney for some updates on services and projects.
Thank you, Christy. Alrighty, service updates time. We're doing a little different thing this time around, where we're trying to go through each of the services and give you updates very briefly. So hopefully you like this new format. So first I want to start with DSpace. We have new repository enhanced usage reports live now. These are Excel-based reports, and they began going out to repository managers February 1st, and will continue to be delivered on a monthly basis via email. The reports include usage statistics at the repository, community, collection, and item level. Thank you to DSpace Tech Lead Nick Woodward, product owner Adrienne Shapiro from Texas Women's University, and to the DSpace users group for their work to create richer repository usage statistics for our members. Documentation about the reports is available on the TDL wiki, and Leah will provide the links for you in the chat there. Next up, OJS journal hosting. The OJS user group, chaired by Alexa Height from TAMU Corpus Christi, has launched a new email list specifically for faculty and staff journal managers to give them a space to ask questions and discuss issues related to managing journals and the editorial process in open journal systems. Thank you especially to Justin White for getting this email list started and agreeing to moderate the list. You and/or faculty members can subscribe to the list at the link that Leah is going to paste here into chat. Secondly, we've been pleased to welcome several new journal teams to our journal hosting service and have worked to bring up or migrate sites onto our systems since the start of the year. These new journals include the Journal of African American Women and Girls in Education, sponsored by Texas A&M Libraries, the Texas State Social Work Journal, sponsored by the libraries at Texas State University, and Venue, a digital journal of the Midwest Art History Society, sponsored by Baylor Libraries. And now we'll move on to some DPLA updates. So our DPLA aggregation service, as you know, started last year. We began to test to onboard collections from Stephen F. Austin State University Library's digital collections just last month. Those collections include some pretty exciting items like the East Texas Research Center archives, a George Foreman collection, and a collection of materials related to the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster and recovery efforts. We also need your collections to include in the Digital Public Library of America. And we encourage you to consider please signing your institution up for this service. Costs are modest, either $2,500 or $1,000 as a one-time onboarding fee, depending on your institution's size, and then a small annual maintenance fee thereafter. You can find more information about our DPLA aggregation service on the TDL Wiki at the link that we'll paste here into chat. And you can also just reach out to any of us individually or info@tdl.org to find out more as well. Moving on. To Vireo. So not much here. TDL's Vireo ETD service lead Frank Smutniak is continuing to work with members to iron out the Vireo 4 migrations. He's really refining the process, and we're looking forward to some production systems in Vireo 4 soon. Our digital preservation service lead developer, Nick Woodward, has upgraded your TDL DuraCloud instances to the latest 7.0, to which he also contributed work on your behalf. If you haven't already followed the instructions, which I shared last week, to update your sync tool as a digital preservation service user, please do so immediately, or you will have problems ingesting into TDL's DuraCloud, and we can help you with that too. April has a couple of opportunities to engage with other digital preservation-minded colleagues in Texas. First, we rescheduled the Archivematica Texas User Group, or ATEX, office hours from the freeze to April 2nd from 1 to 2 p.m. In addition, we'll also have our quarterly open digital preservation interest group meeting on April 15th from 3 to 4 p.m. If you don't have either of those meetings on your calendars, please do check out the links for the monthly event pages at the end of this slide deck. Finally, the TDR, Texas Data Repository, annual steering committee meeting where we do intense project and strategic planning is scheduled for the week prior to TCDL, May 19th from 11 to 4 p.m. The larger data pilot team, Anna Dabrowski from TAC and Jessica Trelogan and Colleen Lyon from UT Austin, have also completed their report from the Planet Texas 2050 grant, and you can find it stored in the TDL institutional repository if you're interested in reading it. And speaking of data, now I'd like to welcome Colleen Lyon to provide us an update on the TDL Carpentrys Pilot work so far. So go ahead and take it away, Colleen.
Hi, everyone. Before I get into it, I just want to give a big shout out to the co-facilitators of the Carpentrys Pilot, Diana Morganti, Courtney Muma, and John Watts. They have been doing a ton of work and I really appreciate it. And I want to tell you today a little bit about what we've been doing so far. So There are 16 people in this pilot from Texas A&M, UT Austin, Texas State, Baylor, and the University of Houston. And they're all participating in this pilot Carpentrys membership that was organized by TDL. The goal of the pilot is to increase capacity among our TDL institutions for skill building in data science and coding. And at the end of the pilot year, all 16 participants should be certified Carpentrys instructors. The pilot participants started meeting in October of last year and have formed 3 different subgroups focused on workshop planning, learning communities, and needs assessment. And there are already several people who have virtually attended the instructor training, and the 3 subgroups are moving forward with their own plans and activities as well. So the first Carpentrys training that was offered as a part of the pilot project happened in December, and it was sponsored by Texas State. 24 people attended that workshop, and it was focused on OpenRefine and Python. The post-workshop survey indicated that people had overall satisfaction with the training, and they felt more confident in their skills after the workshop. So the next training that we are planning will be a library Carpentrys workshop sponsored by Texas A&M the week after TCDL. Library Carpentrys focuses on building software and data skills within the library community, so definitely stay tuned for more details on that. The 2 final Carpentrys workshops that we have planned as a part of the pilot will be happening in summer or early fall, and those are going to be sponsored by UT Austin and the University of Houston. And as soon as we have details about those workshops, we'll announce them. And that's about it from Carpentrys.
Thank you so much, Colleen. One of the best parts of this pilot has been working with that group that Colleen named. Thanks for giving that shout out, Colleen. And also, it's been really nice to see how much the group at large is learning about pedagogy, which was kind of a bonus. So now I'm actually going to hand things over again to Shannon Willis.
Thanks, Courtney. This is Shannon Willis with the Digital Projects Unit at UNT, and I wanted to let everyone know that the TDL Imaging Group is looking for new planning committee members. The imaging group is growing and would like to invite all those who are interested in sharing their ideas for the group to consider joining our planning committee. Planning committee members serve a 1-year renewable term and participate in regular meetings, help determine the group's agenda and goals, and assist in planning future events. So if you are interested in learning more or would like to go ahead and join the planning committee, you can contact me at shannon.willis@unt.edu for more details. And Leah will paste the link into the chat where you can learn more. And now I'll hand things back to Courtney.
Thank you so much, Shannon. That's been such an exciting group. Alex, could you put the slide back one? Sorry about that. I also wanted to cover just a few upcoming events. Today at 4:15 p.m., we've got our excellent GIS interest group meeting. The TDL Awards Committee meets Friday at 1 p.m. this week. We have another hangout at lunchtime on March 24th, and we hope that we can get a big group there. We love seeing you. Our DSpace user group is meeting on March 30th. And again, a reminder, the ATEX office hours is on April 2nd. So now Leah is going to share a few more events coming up in the next section on community. Take it away, Leah.
Right on. Thanks, Courtney. And hi, everyone. This is Leah DeForest. I'm the communications manager with Texas Digital Library. And as Courtney mentioned, I have a few events to announce. But first, I'm really excited to share with you that TDL's very own Alex Suarez has been elected to serve as secretary on the Tarot board. Alex, if you have a sec, can you tell us a bit about your role with Tarot and how TDL members here today might get involved?
Yeah, absolutely, Leah. I am super excited to join the Tarot Steering Committee as secretary. My main responsibilities will be keeping meeting minutes and collecting subcommittee reports. And I'm also excited to learn as much as possible about EAD and XML. For those who are not familiar with Tarot, it makes descriptions of the rich archival, manuscript, and museum collections in repositories across the state available to the public. Between a new website and the new NEH grant, it is definitely a very exciting time for Tarot, so I'm happy to be a part of it. Participating institutions include over 40 Texas repositories. If your institution is interested in joining Tarot, please check out our How to Join page that Leah will post in the chat below. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Leah.
Great, thanks so much, Alex, and congratulations again. We are really excited to have an opportunity to build a closer working relationship with our good friends at Tarot. So now for some exciting events. I am so thrilled about the lineup for our Leadership Academy webinars, and I can't wait to see you all there. Our webinar series kicks off next week with a discussion about navigating the field of academic libraries. And their presenters will share their experience interrogating the hierarchy, politics, and bureaucracy attendant to working in academic libraries and higher ed. So for that Navigating the Field of Academic Libraries webinar, we're thrilled to host Peace Awesome Williamson, who's the Director of Research Data Services and Health Sciences Liaison at the University of Texas at Arlington. Also, Phyllis Earls, University Archivist for our friends at Prairie View A&M University, and libraries at Texas A&M University. Fettel in Shackelford, Washington, who's the coordinator of the music library at the University of Houston. Stable, hope everyone can hear me okay. As well as Kelly Gonzalez, who is the Vice President of Library Services at UT Southwestern Medical Center and is also the chair of TDL. Academy webinars are free and open to anyone who is interested in joining the discussion. I want to thank the TCDL Leadership Academy subcommittee for their help in coordinating and curating this really fabulous workshop series, and I do hope to see you all there. And again, I'll paste links to these leadership academies once I'm done speaking, because multitasking is not my strength. So next slide to the GIS. Later this week, we continue one of our new and very popular webinar series hosted by TDL's GIS Interest Group. I hope you can join us tomorrow afternoon for Striving for Fair Geospatial Data with Nathaniel Dede Bamfo of Texas State University, Jessica Trelogan of the University of Texas at Austin, and John Watts from Texas A&M University. Registration is free, and again, we'll drop a link to chat here in just a second. Oh, thanks, Courtney. Saving the day. Okay, and next, later next month, April, we're so excited to host the next Train the Trainer workshop with the Open Education Network. We're going to be opening registration very soon, so please keep an eye out for an email from us on that. This is free and open to any members, and even if you've attended one of these workshops in the past, you're completely welcome to attend again. This will be held virtually and again, free for all members. If you have any questions about the workshops or whether or not you think you should attend, please feel free to email us at info@tdl.org, or you're welcome to email me directly. That's it for me, I think, and yep, I'll hand things back to Christy now.
Thanks, Leah. Thanks, Courtney and Shannon and Colleen for all of that great content. Lots of good stuff going on at TDL and within the community as always. We have some time for questions if you have them, and you can unmute yourself to ask a question or make an announcement if there's something you want to share, or put those questions in chat and we'll answer them as they come in.
Christy, I'm going to launch that poll now about the transcription, see what people think.
Great. Thank you, Leah. So if you did have a chance to view the live transcription and want to give us a quick opinion on that, please do. Okay, announcement from Morgan that she is on Jeopardy today. Wow, Morgan, that's major news. I got to
That's
figure
so
out
exciting.
when it's on now. That's amazing.
Wow. Oh, I can't wait to watch.
Yeah.
I knew you were brilliant. I just didn't know how brilliant you were, Morgan. That is
Well,
awesome.
you know, I was gonna say when Leah was talking about the Leadership Academy webinars, looking at the lineup for those webinars, what a tremendous group of leaders and wealth of expertise we have in Texas that we can draw from those webinars. And Morgan's announcement about Jeopardy just reinforces the idea that we've got so much talent and intelligence and capability in this state and in this consortium. I see Santi has a question about, do we have a date for when TCDL registration will open? That is a great question. I know that Alex has been doing heroes work to get registration set up. We're using a new registration system, so there's been some bureaucratic red tape to getting that set up, but I believe it will be soon. And Leah, I don't know if you or Alex have an ETA on that at the right now.
I turned to Alex. She's been the fighter here. It's crazy, y'all. I mean, things take a long time, but
I'm
Yeah.
hoping to have it ready to go, at least on our end tomorrow, to launch next week.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, we'll be sending, you'll be notified when it is ready for sure.
Yeah. Seems like maybe next week is the.
That seems solid. And you know what, Santi, this actually is a great reminder. I can drop in chat here how much our registration fees will be so you can plan on it. We've got tons of affordable options for people of all different stripes. So hang on a sec, I'll grab that info.
Great.
Excited that you're chomping at the bit though already, Santi. I hope everyone else is too.
Any other questions?
I have a question. This is Alexa about the Train the Trainer workshop. A colleague or a couple of colleagues and I attended before March 20, the first week of March 2020 last year. So I'm wondering if the workshops have been adapted or reworked at all for our new mostly digital interaction landscape, and if it would be worth re-attending, because as you might understand, we actually haven't done any workshops on our campus because everything got put on hold.
I'll take that question, Alex. I'm really glad you asked. So yes, the workshop has been reformatted. I mean, think most importantly that it's not all day in Zoom. It's been shortened to, I think, 3 hours, but there is a prerequisite set of videos and some readings that they ask you to look over. So as far as that goes, yes, it's changed. Now, does it actually talk about how to host a virtual workshop training? I think they discuss it, but I'm not sure how much in depth they get. That would be a really great question for me to answer from them. But I do think it's worth, especially if you have a new colleague, it's definitely worth attending, even if you've attended before.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so I think we're at the end of our time. Thanks for those questions and thanks for attending today. It's always good to see you in these virtual spaces, and we look forward to more opportunities with the Hangout, with user groups, and with TCDL coming up to spend time with you. So everybody take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.